Hello everyone, my name is Steven Steele and welcome back to World of Tanks. Today we're going to be doing a new tank review of the Type 58, the Tier 6 Chinese medium. Sorry for not having that much content lately, especially on World of Tanks. I really wanted to get some out, but I did not have the great games and I was doing some other shit. But more should be coming up and this is going to be the start of it. So, Type 58 Chinese medium tank, or as I like to call it, the Type 34, the T-3485, but then worse. That's exactly what this is. This is the hull of the T-3485. It's exactly the same. The turret is exactly the same as well, but we'll go over it quick. 45 frontal armor. This is no armor. Lower plate as well. This middle part is 90 for some reason. I don't know why the fuck, but you can get some silly bounces on this. Like, seriously, this is pretty dumb, but as you can see, even in these angles, the upper and lower plate are just shit. Oh, lower plates are ricochet, but still, it's pretty crap. Side armor 45, you can side scrape in this. You won't get overmatched by the 122mm Russian guns that you see at tier 7, which is very nice. But other than that, I mean, everybody in the tier, even tier 5 tanks, have absolutely no trouble penning you. So, yeah, you have a weak spot here because, you know, let's have a weak spot. And, yeah, let's talk about the turret. So the turret, as you can see, the gun mantlet is not the greatest. There are some reasonable spots in here. You will get your occasional bounce, but there are also a lot of weak armor zones. The turret's angling though is pretty reasonable, so you get a lot of bounces like right here. But then again, if they hit the cheek properly, they're gonna be shooting at 90 flat armor, 75 turret ring, which is also pretty poor. You're not really expecting to bounce anything with this either. And because fuck you, you have two cupolas. Yay! It actually looks really fucking stupid if you look at it in game. Like, these are two fucking cupolas on a tank with no hull armor and a pretty mediocre turret. You have two cupolas, so yeah, there's no armor here really. You don't expect to bounce anything. You can go hull down, but that's about it. And another thing to note when going hull down, do you see this? Gun depression. 5 fucking degrees of gun depression. It's really bad. So yeah, 5 degrees of gun depression. Yay. Fuck it, yeah, it is 5 all around. So elevation's 22, which is pretty good, but the gun depression is so bad. So yeah, whatever. Let's get into the replay. So here we are playing on Ruinberg, Winter Ruinberg actually, playing with my two friends. One of them playing T-3485 and the other one playing a stock T-150. In a tier 8 game, by the way, which is going to be really painful for him and really painful for me as well. So we're playing a tier 8 city map with a tier 6 medium tank that has a terrible gun. That is probably... that's perfect if you're a masochist, but I'm not a masochist, so I don't really like it. But yeah, this gun, the gun is really the big issue with the gun, or with the tank. The penetration is really low, so that is something to note. But yeah, first play we make here is we go to this little part. We're not gonna go into the city. In matches like these, you need to look at the matchmaking. Enemy team has three top tier fucking heavy tanks, and we have the Super Pershing, and that's about it, which is really not gonna stand up to their heavy tanks at all. So I've already given up on the city. I told my friend in the T-150 to try and hold them off, but it really isn't very likely to happen. He can't really help it. There's nothing he can do in this type of matchmaking. So yeah, first of all, we're gonna get into our position here. Gonna look for some shots on this guy, and we're gonna talk about the stats of the tank as we always do. So as you saw, the mobility is alright. It's just like T-3485. It's you get 600 horsepower engine and about 1670 power to weight, something like that. It's alright. Terrain resistance is mediocre, but it does the job. Tank traverse is pretty decent, and turret traverse, by the way, is really good on this, which is kind of nice. Actually, really nice stat to have. And it helps the gun aim faster as well. So now let's talk about this gun. So 160 alpha damage, rate of fire is like around 12. You get the reload to around 4.5 seconds, I believe. And yeah, the big issue with the gun, penetration 128. Because fuck you. The T-3485, as I said, this is a worse T-3485 because that thing gets 144 penetration and not 128. So yeah, there you go. That's the one big difference that basically wrecks this tank, on top of having worse gun depression and slightly worse armor with the two cupolas instead of one. But I mean, shots like these on the tier 6 tank that is completely not facing us are still gonna be fine, except for that last one which didn't pen, probably because I hit through the fence, which is understandable. But still, like, the gun on this is not very good, even though the DPM is actually higher, but 160 alpha instead of 180, and the worse penetration definitely makes this a worse gun, and I prefer the T-3485's gun over this gun every time, even if you're unloading on someone, because this gun tends to just randomly bounce because, you know, bad pen, low pen roll, enemy troll armor, something like that. And the T-3485's gun, that gun at least, it doesn't do that as much, so yeah, I don't really like this gun all that much. One stupid little trick here, I don't know who the fuck put this in, but you can actually shoot through that. I shoot a bit low, so I only get the track but not the damage, which is unfortunate. But he repairs, so hey, I take his repair kit for free, which is also not bad. Now we are with more people here, so rushing this guy should be the right play to make here, and that's exactly what we're doing. Upper plate on that is definitely not bad, but it's not going to stop our gun even with this shitty pen. So yeah, we pick him up pretty much for free, and we've done like 1k damage here, over 1000 damage at least, for absolutely nothing. We took one shot, but I'm completely fine with that. So reasonable start here. As we expected though, the city has fallen and we kinda need to go back to defend. The game is pretty close right now and we could definitely still lose this, and that is exactly what's gonna happen if we let them just get to our cap and take out our backline guys and stuff like that. That would be really problematic. So me and my buddy are going to head back. We have the 2 tier 6 mediums. Like in a tier 8 matchmaking, as mediums, the thing you have to do is you have to stick together, you have to work together. The only thing you have going for you here is mobility. There's nothing else. Even our DPM isn't as good as these heavies. And that was pretty unlucky, by the way. Hitting the turret on that, on the gun mantlet, was pretty unlucky. Here we hit the side, which is... Well, he turned at the last moment, so it wasn't like very unlucky, but here again, like, come on. Oh well, RT finishes him off. Close range RT shell, no problem. Fucking seeks out the enemy tank and blows him up. So yeah, nice, very nice. So now we're gonna go find this KV3. The thing with these type of tier 7 heavies is they have 90 side armor, we have 128 pen. So if we get a shitty angle or we hit them in the track, we might not even pen them. But the side of this turret is really weak, and we get some really clean, nice shots into there, which is very satisfying, and finish them off with a tracking shot, so we get the assistance as well. And this is crucial, by the way. Me and my buddy are gonna team up on this Tiger 1. We need to take the Tiger 1 out. Tiger 1 has a lot of health, he's actually full health, and he has a lot of DPM, so he could easily kill all of us right here. He could literally roll over all of us and win the game here. And our RT already, well, one of our RT already died to him, so we need to take him out. But yeah, so he's looking at my friend, so I'm gonna shoot him, and now he should be looking at me. He does look at me. I look at third person, and no, he's not looking at me, so now I go for another shot. That's exactly how this engagement is gonna go. I pull out a bit too late, so he gets a free shot, but I retaliate with a very nice track, and my friend will get the ammo rack. So yeah, we basically juggled the aggro from him, basically like you would normally do in any game against random bot enemies, which is pretty much what this guy was. He was a complete retard, but hey, that's life, I guess. I mean, judging by what he said in the chat, he definitely was retarded, so whatever, we pick him up really nicely. And you can see, like, one thing you have to realize about this tank, as I said, it's a worse T-3485. But the T-3485 is one of the, if not the best tier 6 medium, although that probably goes to the Cromwell, but it's like up there with the Cromwell. So being a worse T-3485, you're still way better than the shitty mediums that the Germans get, for example. Well, maybe not the VKP, but you're still one of the worst, one of the better tier 6s, as there are just so many bad ones in general. And here, well played to that Tiger 2 actually. He actually turns around, he actually realizes where I am and where he needs to shoot to get the shit done. Because if he lets me live and the light tank, then we will just circle him and kill him. So he's very smart to actually turn around and go for me. Now the light tank draws his attention, hits the Tiger 2, and there's one thing I realize right now, he has to be turning around because he stopped moving, and he did turn around, and one of my platoon mates actually told me this as well, which is nice info. But there he is, the back of the Tiger 2, and this is game over for him. There's not much he's gonna do. I mean, the pen on this is shit, but the back of a Tiger 2 isn't really gonna bounce these shots, so yeah. So we deal damage to a bunch of tier 7s and then to a Tiger 2, which is pretty sick actually. And it's one of the things you will never probably do again in this tank, but as you can see, if you use your medium properties properly, if you just make use of your repositioning, your mobility, your good DPM and teamwork, then even mediums like this can be quite epic, even if they're not the greatest. So here are the end plates of the game. We got ourselves Ace Tanker, Fire for Effect, obviously. And now the experience, 9,284, oh my god. But it's because of the premium account, because of the triple on the first victory of the day, and because my friend actually is part of the Refer Friend program, so I actually got bonus from him as well. So yeah, there you go. Lots of XP. As you saw, the damage we did is also very, very, very nice. We did over 2.6k in a game like this is quite sick, and we got 1547 base XP, which is also quite sick. So yeah, to tell you the truth, this tank is probably one of the best you can get at this tier, and yeah, it's actually kind of fun to play, even though it's not as good as the original, but whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. See you on the next one.